I'm talking about the Barabasi article we had to read for viewed for Wednesday's posts. Basically, one of the big things that he talks about is bursts and the fact that millions of humans do the same things at the same time. The time at which people drink coffee pretty much spreads out across the world the same way, um, just based on that waking hour for a bunch of different people. Um, his argument was that if we can understand humans the same way we understand natural phenomena, things that don't have that cognitive capacity, then we should be able to predict their behavior. I thought that made a lot of sense. Basically saying that, you know, humans, even though we give ourselves so much credit as being more intelligent, more capable, with greater abilities than every other species on the planet, we still end up doing a lot of the same things. And the idea that he was collecting data using phone calls to see like where people are and what people are doing at certain times. I think it makes sense that about 93% of the time most of us do the same things. Like even as students, we'll spend, such and such time in class, but it's always these same classes each week. Very rarely will, a class be held outside or a field trip anymore. Same goes for students, the same goes for working people. Uh, like working before, I know that you just kind of get into a certain pattern. You wake up at this hour, either you do or don't have breakfast, you go to work, and then you just kind of stay there. So it makes sense that you can predict where people are going to go if you get enough data. 7% of the time is basically the chaos period, getting a new job or starting a new relationship, things that affect those regular patterns, but then that even that falls back into pattern after a little bit. So it makes sense that we're pretty predictable people, just like other things that we observe through microscopes and under looking glasses. But I mean, my question is, what can you really do with that data? Like, it's no secret that most people go to work or go to school or go through the same routine most of the time. I don't know. I didn't really understand how he's going to use that data to enhance the world. It seems, again, like a pretty obvious argument, just like the last one. Everything's obvious once you know the answer. So obviously we all kind of follow patterns, but how does that help out a business? How does that allow you to, like he said, you can't really predict 9/11 with that. All you know is that something random will occur 7% of the time, but what does that really mean for the future? And how can anyone like really do anything about that? I think it's an interesting question. I think like even in the reading, it got into more the math about it, but at the end of the day, it still seemed to me like it was kind of a, like now that we know this about people, what can we do with that knowledge? And that seems to be basically where they're stopping right now.